Before we start the timeline, let's address the whispers. What do the men who knew Lauren best actually say? Publicly, you won't find fiery takedowns. Instead, you see something more revealing: professional respect and quiet distance. Her ex-husband, Hollywood power broker Patrick Whitesell, has kept things low-key, focusing on co-parenting and business. No messy tell-alls, no loud interviews. Former partner and NFL icon Tony Gonzalez. He's appeared at family events with Lauren in recent years, a sign of stable co-parenting and long-term goodwill. Read between the lines, the people closest to her aren't shouting scandal. They're signaling that Lauren is focused, disciplined, and incredibly strategic about relationships, family, and reputation. And that sets the tone for everything you're about to hear, from ordinary to billionaire's bride. How does someone who grew up in a modest home with no silver spoon or family fortune end up standing next to the richest man alive? Lauren Sanchez's life is not just about luck, it's about carefully timed decisions, calculated moves, and a willingness to take risks when the world was watching. Her rise has been compared to a blockbuster drama, with twists that nobody saw coming: secret romances, shocking leaks, broken family bonds, and alliances that reached all the way into the worlds of Hollywood and Silicon Valley. This isn't just a love story, it's a story about ambition, influence, and the very thin line between personal happiness and strategic positioning. People have called her everything, from a brilliant professional to a master manipulator. And while her supporters admire her boldness, her critics wonder if every step was part of a long-term plan. One thing's for certain, Lauren Sanchez didn't stumble into power. She charted her own flight path from the very beginning. The Albuquerque beginning. Lauren Wendy Sanchez was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in 1969. Her father, Ray, worked as a flight instructor and mechanic, while her mother, Eleanor, worked in local government before later moving into Los Angeles politics. It wasn't a glamorous life. There were no red carpets or celebrity parties, but the household was filled with discipline, ambition, and lessons about perseverance. Her father taught her the importance of precision and control in aviation, while her mother introduced her to the realities of how power works behind the scenes in city politics. Even as a teenager at Del Norte High, Lauren had a magnetic presence. Classmates noticed her charm, teachers noticed her ability to command attention, and she was voted biggest flirt, a title that seemed playful at the time, but foreshadowed the way she would later navigate powerful social circles. She wasn't the straight-A academic student, and she faced real struggles with dyslexia. But that didn't slow her down. Instead, she focused on her natural talents, her presence, her confidence, and her ability to connect with people. By the time she graduated, Lauren had already figured out something most people take years to learn. Success wasn't just about what you know, it was about who you can reach. She understood that proximity to influence could open doors that textbooks never could. That realization would shape every decision she made from that point forward, leading her from Albuquerque classrooms all the way to global stages. Sports to screen, NFL, Lakers, red carpets, and a power marriage. Lauren's rise from sports sidelines to Hollywood spotlights was anything but ordinary. She was engaged to Denver Broncos star Anthony Miller, linked to Lakers guard Derek Fisher, and had a son, Nico, with NFL legend Tony Gonzalez. Even after their split, she showed her trademark strategy, turning a breakup into lasting family ties, later vacationing with Gonzalez and his wife while keeping their bond strong for their child. Then came Hollywood. In 2005, Lauren married powerhouse agent Patrick Whitesell in a wedding packed with A-listers like Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Jennifer Garner. With him, she had 2 children and secured her place in elite Hollywood circles. At the same time, she built her own media career, winning awards and proving she wasn't just in the background. She was a name with credibility and visibility on her own terms. Her ability to balance family, media presence, and connections made her one of the most quietly influential women in Los Angeles. It was the perfect setup for what would come next. The Bezos meeting, aviation, turns into alignment. In 2016, Lauren met Jeff Bezos at a holiday party hosted by her husband Patrick. What began as small talk turned into something bigger when Bezos discovered Lauren's aviation company Black Ops Aviation. Soon, she was filming aerial shots for Blue Origin, giving them hours together in the skies, far away from flashing cameras. It wasn't just business. Bezos, usually cautious, found himself drawn to her mix of confidence, ambition, and aviation expertise. She helped him overcome his unease with flying, showing him adventure in a way he could trust. Their connection grew quickly, evolving from collaboration into something deeper. By the time the world noticed, their relationship was already solid, fueled by shared ambition and private time away from the spotlight. It was the beginning of a partnership that would change both of their lives forever. And for Lauren, this wasn't just a romance. It was entry into a world of influence that went beyond Hollywood and sports. Bezos wasn't just another powerful figure. He was the most powerful figure of them all, and she had his attention. The double life and the explosion. By 2018, Lauren was living a life that seemed almost impossible to balance. On the surface, she was still married to Patrick Whitesell, attending industry events as his wife, managing their household, and appearing to be the picture of stability. But behind closed doors, her connection with Jeff Bezos was growing stronger by the day. They exchanged private messages, arranged secret meetups, and used every precaution to keep their romance hidden from the public eye. But secrets rarely stay buried forever. That summer, whispers began to circulate. By early 2019, the story exploded. Bezos's private texts and messages to Lauren were leaked, sending shockwaves through the media. For a man who controlled one of the largest companies in the world, it was unthinkable. Headlines blazed with intimate details, late-night TV shows turned it into fodder, and suddenly, the world's richest man was at the center of a scandal no one expected. For Bezos, it meant announcing his divorce from his longtime wife. For Lauren, it meant the end of her marriage to Patrick and a complete transformation of her public image. The leaks didn't just reveal a romance. They painted a picture of a relationship already far deeper than anyone had imagined. Plans, passion, and the promise of a future together were all laid bare for the world to see. This wasn't just a private affair. It was the moment Lauren's life went global. Overnight, she wasn't just a TV personality or the ex-wife of a Hollywood agent. She was the woman who had captured the heart of Jeff Bezos, and the entire world was watching every move she made next. Betrayed by blood. If the public scandal wasn't enough, what came next cut even deeper. Betrayal from her own family. Lauren's brother, Michael Sanchez, wasn't just a sibling. For years, he acted as her confidant, her manager, and the person who knew every detail of her personal and professional life. But when the Bezos affair hit the headlines, reports claimed Michael had been the one who leaked private messages to the press in exchange for a hefty payout. The fallout was brutal. Lauren, who had carefully built her image step by step, suddenly had to face the fact that the biggest threat to her future wasn't just the media, it was someone she had trusted her entire life. Lawsuits were filed, accusations flew, and interviews with Michael painted Lauren as reckless and careless, while she insisted the betrayal was unforgivable. And it didn't stop there. Even her mother, Eleanor, reportedly sided with Michael, creating a rift so deep that by the time Lauren stood at her lavish $500 million wedding with Bezos, her closest family members were nowhere to be found. Surrounded by world leaders, Hollywood icons, and tech billionaires, the empty seats where her mother and brother should have been told a story louder than any headline. For Lauren, this wasn't just about losing privacy. It was about losing her family. The cost of her rise had gone from financial and emotional strain to a permanent break in the very foundation of her life. To some, it was proof that she had played the game too boldly. To others, it was the ultimate reminder that success can demand sacrifices no one ever prepares for. Power, strategy, and the toll. Call it ambition. Call it strategy. Call it survival. Lauren Sanchez mastered the art of transforming every stage of her life into a stepping stone. From her days as a student in Albuquerque to standing on NFL sidelines, she understood early on that proximity to influence could change everything. With each chapter, she adapted. In sports, she became part of the inner circle. In Hollywood, she blended into the world of agents, actors, and producers. And in tech, she stepped directly into the orbit of the world's richest man. But even the sharpest rise comes with consequences. Every move attracted critics who labeled her as calculating, while others praised her resilience and vision. Every romance brought her new connections, but also intensified the spotlight. And when family fractures became public, her image grew even more complicated. The very ambition that brought her into the inner sanctum of power also cost her the bonds that once grounded her. Still, there's no denying her ability to survive storms that would have ended most careers and reputations. She didn't just withstand the scandal, she walked through it and emerged more visible than ever. To some, she is a symbol of perseverance in a world built to challenge women who refuse to play small. To others, she is proof that ambition comes at a steep price, and maybe that's the true paradox of her life. Every success came with a shadow, and every victory demanded a loss, love story, or master plan. So who is Lauren Sanchez? Is she the woman who followed her heart through every twist and turn, defying odds and critics to create her own version of a modern fairy tale? Or is she the ultimate strategist, someone who studied every opportunity and turned it into a calculated step toward unimaginable influence? The truth is probably both. She is a story of ambition and love, of determination and reinvention, of risks that paid off and sacrifices that left scars. Think about it. She began in a modest household in New Mexico, fought through personal challenges, rose through sports, media, and Hollywood, and ultimately found herself beside Jeff Bezos, the man whose wealth and reach made him the most powerful figure on the planet. That journey wasn't accidental. It was the result of years of persistence, timing, and choices that many wouldn't have had the courage to make. And now comes the ultimate question for you. Was this destiny, or was it design? Did Lauren Sanchez fall into the greatest love story of the century, or did she engineer the boldest rise we've ever witnessed? Whatever you believe, one thing is undeniable. Her life has changed the conversation about love, power, and ambition forever. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your take. And if this story grabbed you, make sure you subscribe, because the next one might just reveal an even bigger twist than this. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.